Hello, everyone. Welcome to this presentation where we are going to talk about some cloud deployment models. As you can see, we are going to talk about the on-premise computing, cloud deployment, hybrid deployment, and we are going to talk about some benefits of cloud computing. So there are actually 6 of them. Whether you've watched my previous videos or you're watching me right now for the first time, I am happy to have you here learn about AWS. And just a little bit about who I am. My name is Yolanda. I am a cloud instructor and a study group lead at WirfonCloud. I am 3 times AWS certified, and I am an AWS community builder coming to you from Brussels, Belgium. So let's go back to today's topic, on-premise model. So on-premise or traditional means that the company owns their data centers. So they actually have the physical hardware that they can get in and manage it. And so they manage things like electricity, cooling, maintaining those servers, all of that, they are fully responsible for that. And this is the model that we are most familiar with. Most of us have worked in companies where we have come across a room full of servers with cables connecting these servers. So that's the server room. But right now, cloud computing providers like AWS are taking that burden away from companies. So they are just like, don't bother about managing those servers anymore. Whenever you need server capacity to run your applications or to run your programs, just let us know, and we are going to provide that for you virtually. And so on the cloud, it is quite different. Whenever a business is using the cloud, they don't have access to the data centers. So AWS does not allow customers to their data centers. Their data centers are taught only by auditors and regulators to make sure that AWS meets certain standards. And so this means that AWS is responsible for all the physical infrastructure to support a data center. They are responsible for the physical machines, for the servers, for the cooling and the racking, everything inside a data center, they are fully responsible for that. So they handle that, and the customer on his part makes requests via API calls to provision resources. These resources reside in AWS, but the customer gets to use them, manage them, and configure them to meet their specific needs. The third model is the hybrid cloud model, and it is exactly what it sounds like. So with this model, you have some resources on-prem, and you have resources in the cloud, and typically they are connected and they can communicate with each other through a VPN connection or through a direct connect connection. And just a recap of what we have seen so far for the 3 models. The on-prem or traditional computing means that everything is on resources owned by the business in their data centers. The cloud deployment model means that everything is in the cloud. And it could be that you are migrating all your applications to the cloud, or it could be that you are a startup and you want to build everything cloud native from ground up. The third model is the hybrid model. And with this, we have seen that you have some resources on-prem and you have some resources in the cloud, but they are able to connect and communicate with each other. So why must I consider, what would make me to consider moving my workloads to AWS? So let's talk about some of those benefits. So the first one is the cloud allows you to trade capital expense for variable expense. On traditional data centers, the business probably needs to purchase the physical machines, purchase the servers, and maintain these servers. This is capital expense, and this is expense that the business probably needs to allocate budgets and budgets before things actually start happening. So just before having your products in the market, you're already spending on infrastructure, and infrastructure in on-premise, in most cases, are not cheap. So, but with cloud computing, a business needs to create an account, associate a payment method with that account, and then you can start using resources. Once you start using resources, the cloud provider calculates your usage and bills you accordingly. So that is what we mean by trade capital expense for variable expense. And so we also have, you can benefit from economies of scale. And what this really means is that AWS is carrying out large amounts of computing all around the world. They are building data centers and regions, and they are really good and efficient at managing these data centers. So because of their expertise, they can achieve really low price points, operating these data centers and operating cloud services. But for you as a customer using these services on AWS, oftentimes it's going to be cheaper than what you would pay to do it yourself in your data centers, because you are going to be benefiting from AWS massive scale. So that's what we mean by, with cloud computing, you can benefit from economies of scale. The third advantage is that it enables you to stop guessing capacity. So with cloud computing, you don't need to guess what will be the needed infrastructure capacity for new deployments, for new environments, and for new projects that the business wants to carry out in the future. With cloud computing, you don't also have to over-provision resources upfront to handle peak levels of business activity. Instead, you can actually provision the amount of resources that you need, but you can scale these resources up or down to instantly grow or shrink capacity as your business needs change. And so this means that it's elasticity. Elasticity means you don't have to over-provision resources, because over-provisioning is a waste of money. It means you don't also have to under-provision resources and experience performance issues for your customers, because the cloud provider is managing capacity for you in the background. So whenever you need 100 or 1,000 servers, you should be able to have access to them when required. And the fourth advantage is, with the cloud, you can have access to a broad range of technology that you can use to innovate and build faster. New IT resources are just a few clicks away from you. You can quickly spin up resources from infrastructure services such as compute, storage, and databases, and much more. And this actually reduces the time that it takes for you to make your resources available in the market from weeks to minutes. With cloud computing, it also permits you to focus on the business logic and your customers, because AWS frees you from managing those servers. And the last advantage, with cloud computing, you can expand to new geographic regions within minutes. So AWS has infrastructure all over the world, and this permits you to actually deploy your applications to multiple physical locations. So you can do this to place your applications in close proximity to your customers so they can enjoy their customer experience. Remember that when you place your applications in close proximity to the customers, it actually reduces latency. And so they're really going to have a good time when they're using your applications. So we have come to the end of this presentation, and I hope that you were able to understand and distinguish between the three models: the on-prem, the cloud deployment, and the hybrid deployment. It is equally very important for you to understand why you should move your workloads to AWS, and we have outlined all of the 6 benefits that you are going to be benefiting from. I thank you so much for watching, and talk to you some other time. Bye.